So, after all the times I've been bitching the fact that she should go back to Earth 2, she finally does it. But in the year of 2040, she is back and she's wearing the worst freaking uniform which she did not deserve to wear. Oh, damn you, Felicity. You may be pregnant, you may be awesome, but damn, you can be a bitch. And Diana had a lot pot calling the kettle black. Because before she even joined the team, she was a criminal and she murdered a guy. But no, they seem to be ignoring that. But it was awesome to see Kathy back in the Arrow world again before she had to go back to the Wave Rider and whatnot. And didn't see much of David and Steven because they were following a lead involving Dante. And then we saw one of the members of the Longbow Hunters, the big, tall, puffy guy with a shield. And then when we saw that helmet in episode 17, it finally got snatched by the hands of Laurel. And now they're going to give the helmet to Felicity, and hopefully they'll be able to get their hands on stopping this thing for good. And whatever. I'm still angry. I'm still flipping raging. So that means we won't be seeing much of Katie much. But we don't know when we're going to be seeing her again. Are we going to be seeing her again in the Crisis? Or is she going to pop over from time to time? Because after all, she's probably doing new stuff with her life, with her new husband, and traveling a lot. But anyway, I suppose we just have to wait until the next few episodes, because this season's nearly over. I'll give it another few weeks or so. And I wonder when's going to time come when we see our final goodbyes towards Emily Bates Ricard's Felicity, because we know that wasn't it, because it has to come to a point where she has to start hiding, and then that's probably when she decided to leave the show for good, because I don't know what it's going to be like for the 10 episodes of season 8, because we all know what's going to happen in the episode final, the season 10 episode. We all know what's going to happen, and it's going to happen in that big huge crossover of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which not only has Supergirl, it has The Flash, it has Arrow, it has hopefully Black Lightning, the Legends, and maybe Batwoman, and then we'll see her TV show maybe. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my reaction video, I hope you enjoyed this episode. So until then, YouTubers and YouTuberettes, I'm ConorArmCEO, thank you, and over and out. Well, now Emiko knows the truth, but it's not going to make any difference. Dante made her into a weapon, and that weapon turned into a beast. And now she's more consumed than he could have possibly hoped. And now she's going to continue on what she was meant to do along with Dante in the Ninth Circle. And good old Ernie Hudson was in the world of the Arrowverse, which was awesome. And his last name was Stewart, and that made John Diggle a Stewart, and which made a lot of sense towards when John Wesley Shipp mistaken John Diggle for his John Stewart in his Earth. So in his Earth, John Diggle was a Green Lantern, which was awesome. And now there's this sickness, some sort of virus, now going to be used for a weapon. And now, with this whole galaxy protocol, whatever, is a huge battalion, and not only this mask and target vigilantes, it also helps them build with strength and the endurance of taking down most of the Canaries. And I have a funny feeling that Felicity is not the only one who was responsible for all this. Her partner, because I think she went behind Felicity's back and created this project, and I think she is Galaxy. But I guess we're going to have to find out until the other episodes. And I did hear that there's not going to be any flashbacks or flash forwards for the last 10 episodes of Arrow for season 8. They're just going to get right to the point where they're just going to do 10 episodes, and then in the 10th one we all know what's going to happen. And I wonder what episode's going to be when we see Emily Bates Ricard one last time, and when we say goodbye to her. And is she going to be showing anytime soon? Because, I mean, you know, time flies in TV shows, and I thought she would have had a bump by now. And that thing that happened with John Diggle's dad turned out to be a lie, and Ernie Hudson was just covering it up to protect John and to see his father as a hero rather than what happened. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed my episode. Sorry. Well, I hope you enjoyed my reaction video, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. So until then, YouTubers and YouTuberettes, I'm ConorArmCEO. Thank you, and OverN'Out. Well, that episode was very, very interesting, what I just watched, and it was the episode of Arrow called Confession, which of course the entire team Arrow, including the return of Arsenal, Roy Harper, is in Star City PD interrogation rooms, asking about what happened in this subway area with these two security guards dead, and they all pointed out to Team Arrow because in investigation they were the last at the scene, involving Emiko and the Ninth Circle, and finding this new device that's going to spread the virus all over the place from the Spartan episode, and they already picked a target, but fortunately Oliver and the team managed to destroy the device, but Oliver destroyed the device and then ended up having this big fight. And it turns out before they even went for the target to take down the device, they made a call. They called Roy to see how he's getting on and how Thea and Anissa's getting on, and it turns out while they were there, they just managed to destroy 2 Lazarus pits, and there's still more remaining. And when they were about to get onto the new target, he ended up getting the call. And Thea doesn't know about the half-sister, and they thought as soon as they have her apprehended and in custody and in trial, they would open up to her and says, yeah, you have a half-sister who basically is a psycho and a killer, who killed Dante, who we thought was the leader member of the Ninth Circle. But it turns out, it was Emiko. Emiko is the leader of the Ninth Circle, and she's wearing her red and black uniform and also the new Green Arrow uniform. And after that, one thing led to another. They kept pointing at John, and then they point at Renee, and then they point at Oliver, and then it got reversed back to Oliver, and then it turns out that they were pointing it at Emiko, and for good reason. Roy didn't plan to tell anybody. After he destroyed the last 2 Lazarus pits, he died. He was struck down by an arrow, ironically. Well, he got shot in the leg by the arrow, and he threw a bunch of arrows at a police officer, and now he got one and it caused him to die, and caused him to be infected by the bloodlust. And originally I all thought, well, not all, because I'm not 100% sure if people thought the same thing, but I thought it was the Mercury, and then I thought, no, there's no way it could have been the Mercury. And then it occurred to Oliver, it literally hit him. It was the Lazarus pit, and I can't believe that happened. He literally was knocked out for a second, and then he immediately woke up, and then he had this bloodlust, and he took down members of the Ninth Circle, and obviously maiming by beating the crap out of these 2 security guards who were just doing their job. And obviously Diana being a bitch, which was also a cover, because she was there too. She had to cover her tracks, and they had to delete the surveillance footage, but apparently neither Diana or Felicity got rid of those footages. They immediately said to each other, oh, thanks for getting rid of that surveillance footage. We never got through with it without being destroyed. And then she said, I thought it was you. And then they found Emiko's location, and they had the entire team in, and then she leaked the surveillance footage, which she took and sent it to the higher authorities. And then she confessed right to Oliver's face. She wasn't fully the cause of the Queen Gambit being sabotaged. Dante gave her information that Malcolm Merlin and Moira Queen were going to sabotage the ship, and she had to go ahead to warn them. But instead, she let it happen. And now Oliver knows that she is partly responsible of him becoming the Green Arrow and ended up in the NU. Well, anyway, I did enjoy the episode. It did scream some sort of flashback fields, because I mean, in the interrogation room, it kind of felt like yesterday that he was being interrogated by Quentin, and then basically had to lie his ass off, and did a pretty good job at it too. But anyway, please stay tuned for my next episode. So, till the next one. Well, that episode was slightly confusing. It was left off where Emiko confessed that she was gonna warn Oliver and Robert about the Queen Gambit, but she decided to continue what she left off when she decided to leave her father to her death and tried to bury the entire Team Arrow into a pile of rubble. And another familiar face showed up. Tommy! Tommy showed up as a conscience that appeared into his mind because maybe Oliver had a slight concussion and ended up nearly being in the same predicament as he was at the season final of season 1. Yeah, and except I didn't know that in the afterlife or in delusions in his head you can still grow a beard. I'm pretty sure around that point they must have forgotten to say, yeah, you need to look like a complete stiff like you looked like before, dead and had a skewer went through your chest and died in the pile of rubble when the destruction of the glaze began. Yeah. Then things went bad with John, Diana, Renee, and Roy trying to find the way out and trying to look for Oliver, and it turns out there was this type of toxin, this exploding agent that would basically kill you. And then Roy took it upon himself to actually dive in and turn off the main system before he died under 12 seconds. But luckily he managed to get there, shut it off, and then leaving it a few seconds of leaving the gang feeling like, oh my god, he's dead, how are we going to explain this to Thea? And she's probably going to go all psycho. And then, surprise, surprise, Emiko made an appearance in the bunker, attacked most of the security systems, and grabbed some of Oliver's arrows. And now Emiko knows that she has a half-nephew, half-niece, should I say, coming into the world. And, boy, it was really trippy when it came to the point where they all broke out and they all met up. Then Emiko and Oliver had this final showdown, and she says, I know about the baby. And it was all like, oh no, Emiko, please don't go there. And then literally he shot her. And then before he even got the chance to walk away, Diggle had an arrow in him. And then Diana and then Roy and then Renee had daggers, had arrows in them. And then the next thing, he woke up like he literally woke up from a serious nightmare. Now, if I was in that situation, I'd be all basically in shock and then probably dying to throw up. And apparently, it was just a vision that Tommy gave to Oliver what would happen if he still continues this path of actually confronting Emiko and killing her. Then more fast forward showed up. William was going to meet this guy who was in charge of, I forgot the name already, and try to find some blind spots. But now he knows, and Renee is completely screwed too, because now he knows that Mayor Renee has been helping out the calculator and the rest of the vigilante members. And then they got compromised, and turns out throughout the entire freaking thing, Felicity wasn't the only one who was responsible for the Archer thing. Her friend who helped way back in the day and became partners with her, and not only in the future she has short blonde hair, and apparently she went behind Felicity's back and sold the Archer project to somebody else. And of course it was the people that was trying to assassinate Felicity in the first place. And then shortly after that, the team found Oliver in the pile of rubble where he was left before until Tommy said, it's time for you to wake up, snap. And then the next thing he was lying there. And then Star City PD was under attack, and then the guy who had this grudge over Team Arrow, he was surprised to find him and his team showing up to help him, and thought he was saying, I thought it was you. And then the next thing he was just lying there in pain, and then he managed to, Oliver managed to catch up to Emiko and say, I wanted you to be better than our father, better than what happened. And then she basically told him to kill her, but basically, no, it's not going to happen. But then she got away, and now the rest of the police department is basically have Team Arrow under arrest, and almost nearly had Felicity under arrest, but thanks to her failsafe. And imagine the depression she'll be going through if she went to jail and carrying a baby, and then while she's in prison, that baby will be taken away from her. And why hasn't anybody told older William that it was probably his grandparents that was refusing to answer Oliver and Felicity's calls? It was obviously that it was all them after what happened to their daughter, all because of what happened to her. Well, not far long until we started catching up and watching the rest of the episodes and reacting to the season finals, as I said that I will. So anyway, let's hope you enjoy my next review video. So to that one.